Hi friends, my name is Colby Sharp. I am a 5th grade teacher from Michigan and I love talking about books. I love sharing videos about getting kids excited about books. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing and then you can be notified anytime I post something new. One of the most popular and asked for videos that I make on this channel are books that my 5th graders are reading. And during this pandemic, I have not made one of those all year. And for a variety of reasons that we don't need to get into, but I feel like I was ready to do that. So today I'm going to share with you the book that all of my in-person students are currently reading. Just for a little context, I have 29 students, I think 20, however many books I have, this is how many kids are learning in person. And then subtract that from 29 and then you'll know how many I have virtual if you're curious about that. All right, let's get started. Let's see what we have here. All right, first up we have Alan Gratz's Ground Zero, a novel of 9/11. This is an amazing book that takes place 9/11 2001 and then 9/11 2021, I believe is the second story, or 9/11 2019. So 18 years apart. 2 stories. Are they connected? Are they not? How are they related to the bombing of the World Trade Centers, those planes crashing into it? This is an amazing book that takes you back and forth. It's just so good. It's fascinating. The story that it starts off with is a boy who is suspended from school and he goes to work with his father on September 11th, 2001. His dad works towards the top of one of the towers. An amazing story. I think readers are going to dig this. If they like Alan Gratz, they're going to love it. And this would be a great introduction to his work. Absolute mind-blowing book. Next up is Booked by Kwame Alexander. If your kids love crossover, if your kids love rebound, if your kids love novels and verse, if your kids love sports, this is an amazing, amazing book. I absolutely love this book, and it's easy to see why kids are loving it. A lot of my kids read crossover earlier in the year, and it's fun to see them looking for more from Kwame. Next up, Spider-Man, Marvel Action, Bad Luck. I don't really know anything about this book, but I do know that it's from our school library. And this kid got it yesterday during library, or 2 days ago, and seemed to be digging it. So Spider-Man, pretty awesome. Next up, Allergic. This is probably going to end up being one of the most popular graphic novels of 2021. It's awesome. All this girl wants is a pet. She's so excited their parents finally agreed to get her a pet early in the book. She's allergic. Great book. Kids love it. I loved it. 5 stars. Next up, we have Starfish. I just recently finished this book and then instantly book talked it, and a kid read it in like a day and a half, 2 days. She seemed to really like it. I actually haven't talked to her. She just finished it. She just finished it today. So I actually have 2 books from one student in here. She just finished it today, but I had to talk about it because it's so good. If you haven't read this book, this novel in verse, must read, holy smokes. And then read the author's note at the end too. I think that's really, really important to the story, and I think it's really helpful to readers. So Starfish, heartbreaking story, but beautiful. Kids, whoops, dropped a bookmark. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Who was Helen Keller? Kids love these books. I call them bobblehead biographies. Kids seem to really dig them. And I love that kids are still interested in Helen Keller and her story. How awesome is that? All right, pick up some of these books that I dropped. Okay, I had a student who's told me that they wanted to learn more about Serena Williams. So we just bought this book instantly for her. It arrived a few days later. And now she's digging it. Who are Venus and Serena Williams? When a kid seems like that interested in learning about something, we try to find a way to get a book about that in the classroom, especially nonfiction, especially biographies. So that's exciting to me. I hope that she likes it and that other kids will read it too. Diary of a Minecraft Zombie. I don't know if you've seen these, but they're pretty popular. Kind of like a play on Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but with a Minecraft zombie. Kids like it, so we have it. Next up, this girl earlier, I think last week or this week, was telling me about how much she loves mysteries and was looking for like a good modern day mystery. So easy. City Spies, so good. She seems to be really digging it. I'm not gonna put a list in the description of all the books. I'm sorry. Just, I got stuff to do. So if you are interested in any of these, just press pause and write it down. City Spies. Oh, this book is so good, and it's fascinating, and it's fast action, high-paced. Characters are amazing. Story is wild. Absolutely loved it. And there's a second one that just recently came out. So City Spies, James is on to something with these books. Before the Ever After, the girl reading this book started the year virtual. Now she's in person, and she didn't get a chance to experience our whole class that was in person reading it aloud at the beginning of the year. So I'm glad that she's getting a chance to experience this novel in verse now by Jacqueline Woodson. So good. This is what we kicked off. This is actually the second book that we read, second read aloud of the year, and it was awesome. So Jacqueline Woodson, of course it's awesome. Next up, Flight of the Puffin. I gave a book talk to just an individual student in my class about this book. I thought it was a perfect book for her, and she devoured it and then gave it to her friend. That's just what it's all about, right? Like, that is a reading community that you want to have, where a book will capture the heart of a reader and get passed to another reader, and hopefully another and another and another and another. This book, y'all, I made a video on it recently, just a standalone video about this book, and it's just so good. If your kids love wonder, Flight of the Puffin. Next up, the latest book in the Hilo series. I was so riveted and captivated by this book. Gina, the girl who broke the world, such a great story. Gina takes center stage in this one, and I couldn't be happier. Right? Die Ever Wimpy Kid. I don't know what I need to say about that, but kids are still loving them. Kids are rereading them. Kids are just madly in love with this series. And can you blame them? Next up, a graphic novel, Glitch. This was from our library as well. You can see a little barcode there. Kids seem to like that series. Another kid getting into Hilo. This is one of my favorite graphic novel series, so really excited to see so many kids digging those. Wimpy Kid. The New Dog Man, Mothering Heights. This is making its way. I think we just have 2 copies in class, so it's quickly making its way around the room, and excited to see so many readers falling in love with it. Yet another amazing book from Dave Pilkey. Roll with it. Glad to see this book is being read, and just, I think the students started it today. Look, it says bookmark, in case you were wondering. It says it on both sides. And the little smiley face. Let's not lose the place there. But roll with it. This is an amazing, amazing book by Jamie Sumner. I loved it, and I'm excited that kids are reading it. I think she has created a character that I want more and more and more kids to meet. This is a brand new graphic novel, Rickety Stitch, Battle of the Bards. Looks really fun. I just brought it into the classroom. It's actually the 3rd book in the series, and kids seem to like it. So I probably need to get the first 2 books in the series. Yikes. Work on that. Guts. I hadn't seen this book read in a few days, so it's good to see that reading. I can't imagine a classroom where someone's not reading a Raina Telgemeier graphic novel. So Guts is rocking. I Survived. This series has been more popular than ever in my classroom this year, so that's exciting to see. Oh, look, it's an Ellie Swartz bookmark. That's fun. So I Survived. Kids are loving it. Kids are loving the chapter books. Kids are loving the graphic novel adaptations. I Survived. Hopping. A little nonfiction here. Mike Lowry, who is just an awesome dude. Follow him on Instagram. He's just so talented. But this is his book, Everything Awesome About Dinosaurs. So many awesome things about dinosaurs. So good to see that. And then Tom Gates. You might not know this series. You might know this series. It's popular, super popular in my classroom the last few years. Kids can't get enough of it. And there's just really fun illustrated novels. Maybe this will be the one book that you haven't heard of from this video that you buy, and you buy the series, and then your kids love it. It's from Candlewick Press. So these are the books that my students are reading. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to let me know down in the comments below the books that your students are reading, so maybe I can find some new ones to add to my to-read list. All right, hope you have an awesome-tastic day.